Today I am going to tell you a story about the life of Daniel. Daniel, his friends, and many other young boys and girls stayed in the land of Israel. The people around them in Israel began to forget about Yahweh, and they stopped to love Yahweh and became evil, doing many bad and wrong things. The prophets warned all the people, but the people did not listen. Then suddenly one day, a king from another land called Babylon sent his soldiers to make war against the people of Israel. The soldiers of the king came and took the people away from Israel where they used to live and made them captives. Daniel and his friends Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, and many boys and girls had to go too, because they became the king's captives. All those people had to walk for many, many miles, and after a very long walk, they arrived in Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon ordered all the young boys to go to a school he had built, where there were many wise teachers. Daniel and his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were chosen to study at the king's school. They had to learn all about the new language, the new gods, and the idols of that land in Babylon. They were given Babylonian names. Daniel was renamed to Belteshazzar, Hananiah to Shadrach, Mishael to Meshach, and Azariah to Abednego. They even had to learn to eat the food the king's chef made. They were given unkosher food and wine to eat. The unkosher food that Yahweh told them was food that was not good for them. Daniel and his friends had never eaten those things. What were they to do? Daniel asked the steward in charge of their meals to let them try a special plan for just 10 days. What kind of food did they ask for? Can you guess? The steward didn't know that what Daniel and his friends wanted to eat was the best food that Yahweh told them to eat. The steward was sure that the boys would become sick if they didn't eat the king's food. But the steward agreed that they could try the plan for 10 days. Daniel and his friends asked Yahweh to bless their choice to be true and faithful to him. Each day they drank plenty of water and ate good, healthy food. After 10 days, the steward came to see how the boys looked and tested how clear their minds were. The steward then saw that Yahweh had blessed the boys with the good food they ate. The boys refused to eat the unkosher food of the king and chose to obey Yahweh instead. They looked good and strong and healthy. Their eyes were bright and they could see very well. Their ears could hear many sounds. Their arms and legs were strong. Their minds were clear and clever, and they could learn and remember many words and could understand the things they learned much better than the other boys who ate from the king's food. When the steward saw all these many good talents of Daniel and his 3 friends, he agreed that they may continue to eat their good, healthy food. During their 3 years of study, their minds stayed clear and sharp. When the king tested them at the end of the 3 years, what did he find? He could hardly believe how wise they were. They were wise and understood many things, and King Nebuchadnezzar decided that he would place Daniel and his 3 friends among the wise men in Babylon. The wise men would help the king to make good decisions. They would give the king good advice, and the king would rule wisely and all the people in the land would be happy. Then, one day, the king's royal guard came and knocked on the door of Daniel's house. Toc, toc, toc. He wanted to take Daniel and his 3 friends away. The royal guard had orders from the king to kill them. Oh no! What had happened that the king wanted to kill them? The night before, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had a terrifying dream, a nightmare. But when he woke up, he couldn't remember what he had dreamed. The king immediately ordered his wise men to come stand before him, and he ordered them to tell him what he had dreamed and to explain to him what was the meaning of his dream. The wise men asked the king to tell them what he had dreamed. Then they could explain to the king about his dream. The king told them that he cannot remember his dream, and they, who were the wise men of the land, must tell him what he dreamed. The wise men could not tell the king what he had dreamed. The king became very angry with the wise men. He told them that they only want to know about his dream to tell him lies about what it meant. The wise men knew that they were in big trouble because they could not tell the king about his dream. Nobody could. The king became very, very angry. Why could they not tell him what he dreamed? They were the wise men of Babylon. The king was so angry, he ordered his captain to kill all the wise men in Babylon. But still the wise men could not tell King Nebuchadnezzar what he dreamed. That is why Arioch, the king's royal guard, had to come to get Daniel and his 3 friends. The king's royal guard took Daniel to see the king. As Daniel and his friends were not among the wise men who stood before the king and could not tell him about his dream, Daniel talked to the king and asked him to wait and not kill all the wise men, because there is only one God, Yahweh, the God in the heavens, that can reveal the secret of dreams, and he would tell him his dream and its meaning. Then Daniel hurried back home and explained the whole story to his friends Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Then he prayed with his friends. And what happened that night? During the night, God explained the secret of the king to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised Yahweh, the God of the heavens, that he revealed the king's dream to him and told him the meaning thereof. In the morning, when Daniel went to see the king, he first told the king that no wise man could tell him what he had dreamed. Only Yahweh, the God of the heavens, could do that. And then he told the king his dream. As Daniel started to tell the king about his dream, the king started to remember his dream. And then he eagerly listened to Daniel, telling him the dream and what it meant. Daniel told the king that Yahweh saw him lying on his bed and that he was thinking about things that might happen in the future. Daniel told him that Yahweh can tell people about secret things and can show them what is going to happen. Yahweh also told the king's secret to Daniel. And then he told the king he must remember that Yahweh knows what people think. Daniel told the king he was dreaming of a large statue in front of him, huge, shiny, and scary. The statue's head was made of gold. The statue's chest and arms were made of silver. Its middle, where his tummy was, and his upper part of his legs were made of bronze. The lower part of the legs were made of iron. The statue's feet were made partly of iron and partly of baked clay. While the king was looking at the statue, he saw a rock cut from a mountain that nobody touched, and hit the statue on its feet of iron and clay and smashed it. Then the iron, clay, bronze, silver, and gold broke into pieces at the same time. They became like dry grass blowing in the wind, blowing away until there was nothing left. Then the rock that hit the statue became a very large mountain. It filled the whole earth. After Daniel told the king what he dreamed, he also explained the meaning of the dream. He told King Nebuchadnezzar he would be the first and greatest king, and explained to him what all the kings that follow after him would be like, and how they will rule until one day, like the rock that came to smash the statue, the God of the heavens will set up another kingdom. It will never be destroyed, and it will not be given to another group of people. This kingdom will crush all the other kingdoms. It will bring them to an end, but that kingdom itself will continue forever. Then the king told Daniel that now he knows that Daniel's God was the greatest God of all, that Yahweh is the one who tells people about things they cannot know. King Nebuchadnezzar was pleased with Daniel and his explanation of his dream. He made Daniel his most important counselor and gave him many, many gifts. Daniel's friends were also given positions of leadership. The king also decided not to kill any of the other wise men who could not tell him about his dream. So now, children, what is the lesson here? We hear from this story that Daniel and his friends did not forget about Yahweh when they were taken to a strange land. They remembered what was good and continued to do it. We hear that even a king as great as Nebuchadnezzar learned that Yahweh is the one that gives strength and power and knows the hearts and minds of everyone. When we seek answers through prayers, Yahweh is the one that gives wisdom and understanding. Everything you and I have, or that we are able to do, is given to us by Yahweh. We must aim to praise Yahweh with our talents, and we must admit and be thankful for all the good things that Yahweh gives us. Now, children, have a good day and a peaceful Shabbat, as the Shabbat will be coming around every week. Yom Tov, the Shabbat Shalom.